This is an excerpt from the Bridge to Freedom Journal, Book 5, by our beloved Morya. It is a gorgeous story of a tiny little elemental bringing his petition to the Great Karmic Board. The halls of karma wherein the Karmic Board hold audience have always an open door through which may pass any intelligence endeavoring to serve the earth and her evolutions. Enter therein, utilize your God-directed intelligence, become once again a part of the recreation of a beautiful planet, Earth, for yourselves and all succeeding evolutions which shall use it. The doors of the halls of karma are wide open to anyone who comes in love. I have seen an elemental no larger than the tip of this pen, who desired within himself mercy for the elemental kingdom. That elemental was carried to the halls of karma by a mighty seraphim. But whose light opened the door? Oh, the seraphim's light could open the door, but no, in love he must allow the free will of the elemental, who is so brave as to represent his species, to open that door. The elemental sitting there, not quite so brave as when he first got the idea, thinks maybe he had better go back. But he looks down, and the seraphim looks pretty strong, and he is right in the palm of her hand. And he says to himself, but suppose I go back and tell the other folks that the idea we cooked up at home wasn't so good. I'd get it back there, and if I go inside, I don't know how I'm going to speak to these beings. So he looked up very pathetically, and the seraphim saw the dewdrop tears come down from the little one's eyes. Help, help me. And the seraphim just quietly pats him, soothes those little feelings, and says, now, you release your light. It will be enough. So the elemental gets his little spine all erect again, looks up at the great big door, and thinks of the beings that have been depicted as so austere, and sends out a tiny little flicker. He pushes the door, and he bounces back. It seems funny, but it happens to be true. And then this little lightweight bounces back on the door again, and the door does not even move. And then he wishes he had not come at all. And the seraphim stays with him. Lo and behold, in time, through the light and love and patience of the seraphim, and of course with the great mercy of the Karmic Board, he sees that door open a couple of inches. And he quickly jumps in, for he thinks it is one of those electric eye deals that is going to close, and of course it does. Then he steps inside, and now he doesn't even have the seraphim, and he is all alone in this big, long courtyard, and he walks along on those tiny little feet, and it sounds so loud to him, for here is no one there at all. He hears his footsteps, and he is thinking out his project. He thinks and walks slower, and he thinks that this was not such a good idea. I don't know what those other beings belonging to my species meant. They should have taken the blight. They should have taken the drought. They should have taken the manure. They should have taken it. Why did they send me up here? So by this time he is at the door that is open, and he looks around, and the door is closed behind him. So he bows before beloved Portia and those great beings that are so loving, but they keep an impassionate expression on their faces, and many a time they smile behind their palms of their great hands. Then, gaining strength through their love, that tiny little one looks up. On behalf of the nature kingdom, we implore assistance through the directors of nature to remove blight, drought, and all impurities from our particular species. Then from a great height comes the voice from the mighty one, which has the tendency to shrivel the tiny one. And why just your species? Well, we hadn't considered any but our own. Beloved, it has taken strength in the extreme for you to come. We saw that strength exhibited as you so bravely came, and you asked the seraphic guard to allow you to enter the halls of karma, to appear to us. We saw the magnificent strength and beauty of your nature with which you approached us. But may we point out to you that it would be nice and kindly for you, although we give you this grant in love, that when you send another representative to us, that you shall not return without remembering all of the species, not just your own." Well, there was a quick retreat upon the departure of the strong little elemental. "The doors will be open. You will not have to go through what this little fellow did. The doors will be open wide. So will many thousands of ears, not only mine, for I well know what you have in your petitions already.